All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the music curated by our own Dr. Greg Yazininski, a professor in our renowned School of Music. My name is Hunter Hughes, and I'm a Director of Development for the College of Arts and Sciences. First things first, it's important we recognize WSU Pullman's campus is located on the homelands of the Nez Perce tribe and Palouse people. We acknowledge their presence here since time immemorial and recognize their continuing connection to the land, to the water, and their ancestors. I am delighted to welcome you to our scholarship reception to celebrate both our generous donors and our talented and motivated students. Speaking of which, thank you to our own Daisy Adame for being the architect behind tonight's student scholarship recipient profiles, which if you didn't have the opportunity to view, will be available at the conclusion of tonight's reception. While we would love to be with you in person, the beauty of this format is that we have people from all over the country attending this evening's event. We will be hearing from Dean Todd Butler and student Gabby Lund. Then we will go into breakout rooms so you can meet some of the scholarship recipients and ask them questions about their lives as students. But first, some housekeeping details. The Zoom conference automatically muted everyone except for our speakers. To ensure that you are seeing the speaker, please put your screen in speaker view. This option is at the top right of your computer screen. If you would like to comment during the presentations, please use the Zoom chat function at the bottom of your screen. Please note that any comments you make can be seen by all participants. Also, please note that portions of this event will be recorded. To ensure your best viewing experience, we suggest you avoid other Wi-Fi activities. If you are experiencing issues, please turn off your own video. When the time comes to go into breakout sessions, you will be asked to join a room. Please confirm on the screen that you wish to do so. After the breakout session is completed, you'll be moved back to the main room for closing remarks. At the end of the event, we will ask everyone to turn their video back on so we can take a screenshot to commemorate. Also, we have planned some interactive portions of tonight's event, so we will give instructions on how to participate when the time comes. Let's jump into our first activity. As I mentioned, we have attendees throughout the entire country. For our first activity, we will share a screen and ask you to help us create a visual representation of who is attending tonight's event. We are going to attempt to use the Annotate tool to mark up the map of the United States. With a group this large, it is possible that you may experience technical difficulties, so please don't worry about it if you do. Please join me now and select the View option from the top of the Zoom window. If you don't see the View option, try rolling over the map with your cursor so it'll pop up. Next, choose Annotate. A toolbar should appear with all your options. Please select Stamp and choose the stamp you prefer to mark where you live on the map. You may need to move your chat box to find your location. While you are marking where you reside, it is my immense pleasure to introduce Laura Child, recently named Senior Director of Development for the college. Laura has been a frontline fundraiser since 2012 when she started her development career with the University of Idaho. After leaving there to join the foundation at Pullman Regional Hospital, she made her way to WSU in 2016 as the Director of Development for the Jordan Schnitzer Museum of Art. In 2019, Laura joined the CAS team. Laura has lived in Pullman since 2004 and raised two daughters who have recently moved out of the area. She is excited to take on the challenge of leading the CAS Development Office and is grateful for the gifted team of individuals she has the good fortune to work with. As we look at all the stamps on the map, you can see that we come from all over the United States and we are thrilled you are joining us tonight to celebrate the next generation of Cougar leaders. Now I'll turn the video over to Laura to introduce Dean Butler.
Thank you, Hunter. I am pleased to get to introduce Dean Todd Butler, who is a professor of English and the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at Washington State University. As the Dean, he leads nearly 40 departments and centers that constitutes the College of Arts and Sciences, with over 700 multi-campus faculty and staff, which establishes the heart of WSU's research and educational mission. He has served in college and university leadership at WSU for more than a decade, including 2 terms as department chair and a prior term as the college's associate dean for faculty. As CAS looks ahead next summer to its 10th anniversary as a unified college, Dean Butler is committed to returning the liberal arts to the core of the WSU land-grant mission, and in doing so, creating a more interdisciplinary and equity-minded understanding of our engagement with communities statewide. As a scholar and a teacher, Dean Butler's focus lies with the English literature and history of the 16th and 17th centuries. Author of 2 books and more than 20 articles, his research brings together early modern literature, print culture, political theory, and cognitive studies to pursue new ways of thinking about Renaissance law and politics. He's currently working on his 3rd book, a study that links early modern literature with contemporary US Supreme Court decisions on issues ranging from victim impact statements, marital privilege, and environmental regulation. Now let's hear from Dean Todd Butler.
So hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm Todd Butler, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm pleased to welcome you to our annual scholarship reception. First of all, just having taken a look at the map, I have to say, I would love to meet some of y'all in person. Especially, I got excited when I started seeing like the little, first of all, like the 18 million stickers that were on top of Pullman at some point. And then I'll be honest, I was originally an East Coast kid. And so I grew up in the Allentown, Bethlehem area, Pennsylvania. Ross, I saw you, I think you were somewhere off the Atlantic Ocean at some point. And I did my undergraduate work in Washington, DC, and I started tracking people down. Linda, I think I saw you in the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina. Did some graduate, I first started teaching in Tennessee, not in Knoxville, which just looks like I saw another one there, but before I came here. And so anytime, if y'all ever make it out, whether it's from Lewiston or from the East Coast, please stop by and see us at some point. This is great to be able to get a chance to see you, but for anybody who's been in Pullman, there's nothing like being in Pullman as well. So it's really great to be able to get to do something like this. And I often feel like I'm following the old real estate adage of being, when I speak, of being the cheapest house on the most expensive block, because we have a set of leaders, of committed students here that are really exceptional. And I'm going to talk only briefly because those are the people you want to talk to. And I know leadership has been on a lot of people's minds at WSU over the past week, over the past couple of days. And I just want to say that leadership is expressed not in singular moments, but as each one of these students' success demonstrates in the quiet moments where they had to balance their hopes and their anxieties, their accomplishments and the work that they put in. And so to all y'all, I'm not going to get into every one of your breakout rooms, but that's my loss because really you're going to get to meet some exceptional people. And so we're really looking forward to sharing with you a sense of not only who these people are, but what you have enabled them to accomplish through your scholarships and your generous support. And scholarships really, first and foremost, are crucial for expanding access to affordable quality education. It's what enables folks to give them the foundation, not just simply to get into school, but to have a rich experience in there. And in that regard, scholarships really are not only access vehicles, they're catalysts. They help open doors to opportunities, by reducing the financial burden to students, which also enables them to discover new interests, new perspectives, and new understandings of how interconnected the world can be. And that you're giving of a gift of support is also a gift of time. It's also a gift of relief to a student who can begin thinking about possibilities rather than deficits. And in understanding and expanding that opportunity, we get into a connection of how, as I said, how interconnected the world can be. And it's one of our focuses going ahead in the college over this next year is to begin thinking about what really matters, especially to our students, and that's making a difference in their communities. And when they go out and they engage in their communities and their problems, what we increasingly say in the college is that students don't encounter, our faculty don't encounter just a history problem or an anthropology problem. They encounter messy, complicated problems, climate change, COVID, income inequality, all these sort of things require the unified perspective, the comprehensive perspective that only studying in the College of Arts and Sciences can bring to a student. And that means that we're providing the foundation for not only student success on campus, in their communities, in the workforce, but also giving back to communities by meeting them where they are and addressing comprehensively their challenges and what they're capable of. And now on that, I want to introduce Gabrielle Lund, a senior from Port Orchard, Washington, who helps exemplify what the college brings to its educational mission, but also what can be done with your support. And right off the bat, she's majoring in environmental science and minoring in political science and forestry. So there's that comprehensive integrative notion of what the college is. She's a WSU Regent Scholar and a member of the Honors College, and currently holds 3 leadership positions. She's the ASWSU Senate Representative for the College of Arts and Sciences. She's president of the College of Arts and Sciences Student Ambassadors and vice president of Tri Alpha, a resident advisor and the new to WSU Honor Society for first generation college students. Now, I'm not done actually introducing her, because in addition to these roles, Gabby's leaned into the transformative WSU student experience and pursued activities outside the classroom, ranging from undergraduate research work in a marine ecophysiology laboratory to taking pink glove boxing classes at the rec center to participating in a women's center focus group. Typical of a well-rounded arts and sciences kook, she also has a creative side. A trumpet player for many years, Gabby joined the WSU marching band her freshman year. And not only did she earn most outstanding trumpet honors that year, she and her bandmates had the fortune to be part of the thrilling and historic ESPN College Game Day experience here in Pullman. And after graduation, she hopes to work in the nonprofit sector, using her skills to expand environmental outreach and education, and eventually shape environmental policymaking. Gabby, really, it's an honor to say that the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thanks for having me tonight. As Dean Butler introduced, my name is Gabrielle Lund, and I'm honored to speak in front of you all. If you had told me 4 years ago, when I was a high school senior, I'd be speaking here tonight, I probably would have laughed. I might have even cried, but most likely I probably wouldn't have believed you. My journey to WSU has not been an easy one. Throughout high school, I had big dreams of attending university. As a senior, I was enrolled in advanced placement, international baccalaureate, and honors courses. I earned a spot in the top 10 of my graduating class of 500. I had a 3.98 GPA, and I was heavily involved in clubs and leadership. Then one cold day in September, after another day at school, my dad looked me in the eye and told me, "You can't go to college." He further explained he and my mom had no financial means to support my collegiate efforts, so that any hopes of going to university were essentially pointless. I knew attending university would be challenging and expensive, especially as a first-generation college student, but I had always told myself I'd figure out a way somehow. "I'll be applying to scholarships and grants," I told them. "There's still a chance." They never protested what I said, but they sat in doubtful silence. "I'll go somehow," I thought. "I have to." As a first-gen college student, I had no money saved for college, nor any means of paying for it, and little understanding of the higher education system as a whole. Though I was regarded by my high school teachers, counselors, and peers as one of the brightest and most qualified students to go to college, none of it mattered since I couldn't afford the cost of a post-secondary degree. I understood that my only means of attending university was through financial aid, so I applied to every scholarship and grant I was remotely qualified for. Throughout the fall, winter, and spring, I applied to women's scholarships, STEM scholarships, teaching scholarships, anything that might award me money. As the year progressed, I spent the majority of my lunches, breaks, and TA periods in my high school's career center applying for scholarships. At the same time, I struggled with issues at home. In addition to my family's financial stress, my dad also suffered a health crisis that culminated in his hospitalization on my 18th birthday. Originally, I'd planned to visit WSU to attend the Distinguished Scholarship Visitation event for incoming freshmen. Instead, I spent the entire birthday alone in the ER as my father's health rapidly declined. As my dad was my family's only source of income, there were many uncertainties following his hospitalization. We didn't know how long he would be in the hospital or if he'd be even able to work after. Would we sell the house? Would we move in with my grandparents? Would I even graduate high school in June? At this point, the dying hope that I would attend college was all but gone. While I'd received some financial aid, ultimately I could not attend WSU without my parents co-signing a Parent Plus loan worth several thousand. While my dad's health ultimately improved, the addition of medical bills on top of my family's already tight finances made going to WSU impossible. I had already received roughly 50 scholarship rejection letters, so I had little hope left for the last few scholarships I had applied to. After everything that had happened, by late May, I had mentally resigned myself to attending community college. At this time, I began receiving small local scholarships. While I was so close to affording university, there were still thousands I couldn't pay. The grief was insurmountable, and I suffered from anxiety and depression as a result. Laurels, our high school scholarship celebration night, was only a few days away, and I didn't want to go. Nevertheless, a few teachers convinced me to. I came within $200 of a full ride in scholarships that night. I nearly burst in a complicated mix of astonishment, excitement, and disbelief. Friends and staff congratulated me afterward for earning the most scholarships of anyone that night. Until that moment, my parents never quite understood the depth of the scholarship process, the competitiveness, the effort required, or really anything about college. After that night, they finally understood. The following day, I hurried to finish all the paperwork for WSU. It was official. I was a Coug. Summer went by in an instant, and suddenly I was moving midday. My stomach lurched as my parents and I drove up Stadium Way and onto the WSU campus. I instantly felt homesick, and I questioned if WSU was what I really wanted. As we unpacked, the bittersweet reality of moving out sunk in. The next morning, I hugged each of them goodbye with tears in my eyes. I didn't expect how much I would miss them. I had no idea what to expect for the upcoming year, let alone the scope of my entire college career. I still doubted I would ever graduate and was convinced I'd drop out by my sophomore year. But I promised myself that day that for however long I was a student, I'd make my time at WSU count for something. I'm happy to report I was not in fact a college dropout like I thought I would be. I have been fortunate enough to receive additional scholarships since, covering my cost of attendance and totaling over $65,000 year to date. Without the support of donors, there's no way I'd be speaking in front of you here today, let alone be a student at this university. I'm extremely grateful to all the donors here today for their contributions, and I want to tell each one of you from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I will never forget the kindness of donors like you. It's gifts like yours that have changed the trajectory of my life forever. To all the scholarship recipients here, I extend my congratulations. You earned it. Thank you all once again, and go Cougs.
Thank you, Gabby. Your story is truly inspiring and is an example of why the investment of our donors makes such a difference. Now it's time for the fun part of the evening where we go into the breakout sessions and meet your scholarship recipients. Remember to accept your invitation to join a room once you are prompted on screen. We will spend about 12 minutes in breakouts, and you will receive a 1-minute warning as the session is close to ending. No need to do anything at that time, as you will automatically be transferred back to the main session. See you in a few.
All right, thanks to most of y'all for enduring the longest 15 seconds of your life that you'll have to have, which is sitting here looking at me waiting to see what happens next. And what happens next, first of all, is the thank you. We're really, first of all, and most importantly to the students that we have here, we're exceptionally proud of the things you have accomplished. Not necessarily, though certainly including your accomplishments in the classroom, outside of the classroom, but also, as I said, in those quiet moments where you decided that it was worth it continue going on. It's a trust and a hope that we place in you all, and boy, you just deliver on it each and every time. We're also thankful, and I'm personally thankful for our donors and supporters, many of whom have been students here at one point themselves, for joining us tonight. Your support for students and what you enable not only our students but also our faculty and the staff and the university to do is really deeply and genuinely appreciative. Now, one kind of last request. If you turned off your video during all these presentations and such, I would ask that you turn it back on so that we can capture a screenshot of all our attendees. You don't have to squeeze in or anything like that. We're maintaining social distancing here on the screen space as well. Sean, you ready to take that photo?
Yep, ready to go.
All right, so we'll go 3, 2, and when I hit 1, I will then say Cougar Gold, and that's your smile time. So 3, 2, 1, Cougar Gold. All right, so there would be no WSU gathering that would be complete without the iconic fight song. And so until we meet again, whether it's in person or on another screen, go Cougs, and Sean, can you help us take us out?